Hello and welcome to another How to Code Well web chat. My name is Peter Fisher. Today we're going to be taking a self-critical look at a video that I did around this time last year regarding predictions for web development in 2017. Now be warned, the audio and video isn't very good, so please accept my apologies. But let's get into it. The first prediction I made was regarding workflow, and I said this.
At the moment, you see, we've got different services that we can use on the internet, such as Scrutinizer and Travis, and for testing. And then you've got things like Jenkins and Ant scripts that can do builds and build servers. You've got other things like Deploy HQ that can deploy stuff. I think what will happen is that someone will develop a solution that can either talk to those things or have those things, within their sort of environment, within their package.
Now, I don't think that actually happened. I don't think you can just buy the pipeline off the shelf and run through a configuration series of forms and have a lot of servers spun up, the whole testing pipeline ready for you to deploy and so forth. I am aware, however, that there are services that you can use or perhaps outsource and have all of that stuff installed for you. However, it's not really what I was talking about. It's not really something like a piece of software that you can just take off of the shelf and install. So I'm not going to say that that prediction actually happened. Now, the second prediction I made was regarding JavaScript and the fact that more frameworks will come about due to ES6. And I said this.
With the new JavaScript technologies that are coming through, I think there's going to be new frameworks off the back of this, and those frameworks are going to do the stuff that Accelerator does in slightly different and perhaps even better manner. Competition is great, and I think that there's going to be new frameworks, new JavaScript frameworks, specifically for mobile applications.
Now, JavaScript certainly has improved, and yes, there are certainly far more frameworks available than there were in 2016. So yes, this prediction did actually happen. Now, some might say that this actually makes things more complicated because there are more options available. It's like going to a shop and having lots of options, so you spend forever trying to choose one, whereas when you have a smaller subset of options, it's far easier to select the one that justifies your needs. In my opinion, some of these frameworks, some of these libraries, they do fit a hole, but sometimes it's like banging in a square peg in a round hole, because you are literally overwhelmed by all of the code, all of the stuff that perhaps isn't necessarily what you're after, but you still have to include it because that's part of the library, part of the framework. I do feel that there's going to be more changes coming along with JavaScript, but I can say that there are more frameworks, more libraries available, and so that prediction actually happened. And I do believe it was due to the changes in ES6 and also the demand for using JavaScript in certain different areas, such as on the server, on mobile, and so forth. So I'm going to say that that prediction actually happened. And the next prediction, number 3, was regarding PHP 7 and the uptake of PHP 7 in 2017. I said this.
So PHP 7 came out, and in my opinion, the adoption rate for PHP 7 that I've been aware of hasn't been that fantastic. And that's partly due to the whole if it's not broken, don't fix it mentality, right? So requesting to change from PHP 5.6 to 7 requires you obviously need to test it, right? Because there's quite a large change. So regression tests, unit tests, integration tests, all of those kind of things. But it's not solving any immediate issues for just general work, right? So it's a step, obviously a massive step in the right direction for performance and all of that stuff. You know, I'm not going to list all the things that PHP 7 can do over the older versions, because that'll take me ages. But when you're trying to argue the case of moving to PHP 7, you have to say, look, you need to test this stuff. This stuff obviously needs to be tested. But the counter argument is that you're not actually going to, apart from performance, there isn't anything crazy. There's no newness. It's not solving anything. But it will happen. It will happen, especially with the push with Ubuntu, putting that in as the default PHP version. You then have a upgrade path that you're sort of forced down, and so you would need to push with PHP 7. Also, with Docker, the ability to just snap a PHP version in quite quickly and easily, I think will make the PHP 7 adoption better. So at the back of 2017, I think we'll see more PHP 7 websites.
Now, I have seen a huge uptake in PHP 7 in 2017, and I think that is in part to Docker and how easy it is to run PHP 7 and earlier versions of PHP and test them out, try them out. This is something that I did mention, as I said last year in that predictions video, and I do think that this justifies the fact that this prediction has actually happened. I think more people are moving or have moved to PHP 7 than ever before, and I think that this is a fantastic thing for web development in general. Now, prediction number 4 was regarding event-driven architectures. Okay, so this isn't the model controller view. This is moving into more of an event-driven, having an event store and all of that jazz. Now, I did predict that there were going to be more libraries, there were going to be more frameworks around event-driven architecture, and I haven't actually seen that happen. However, I have seen that there is more of an understanding of event-driven architecture, more awareness of event-driven architecture, and more people using it, more companies using it, and using it in the right way, which is great. Maybe there will be frameworks, maybe there'll be libraries regarding event-driven architecture in 2018, who knows? But I actually went to a talk in PHP South Coast regarding event-driven architecture, and that was really, really good. But I'm going to be very harsh, as I always am with myself, and say that this prediction didn't actually happen because there wasn't any frameworks, because there wasn't any libraries regarding event-driven architecture. Now, the last one was regarding agile, and I was mentioning agile and fruit. I said this.
It was trying to explain how you can split epics up into little stories, and measuring the unit of effort to do each of these stories as fruit, right? And so you're instead of saying it's going to take me 2 hours to produce this to finish this task, you end up saying it's going to take 4 bananas, and then those bananas can then equate to something. Why do we need to do this? What's the point? Why are we overcomplicating it? Why are we playing with terminology? It's just tasks, right? At the end of the day, you have a sprint, which is off the back of and a bunch of user stories, and epics and so forth. I get that to me makes perfect sense. But I don't really subscribe to the breaking it down so much that you're now talking about other units of measure in fruit. I thought it was I don't know. I don't think we need to go that far, because you're just overcomplicating it. But hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong. But perhaps next year we'll be talking more about bananas. Yeah.
Now, I certainly haven't heard any more about fruit and bananas in Agile. However, I do think that Agile is evolving, is changing. There are murmurs, it's simmering. Okay, so I do think that something will bubble up to the surface, and I do believe that that thing is going to be artificial intelligence. Now, this isn't a predictions video for the next year. I will be doing that later on, but this is certainly something that I'll be focusing on. However, I haven't heard anything about fruit. I haven't heard any other changes in Agile, so I cannot say that the prediction that Agile is going to get even more crazier actually happened. Perhaps, though, this will happen later on. Now, hardly any of those predictions actually came true, but I think the most important prediction actually happened, and that was the frameworks. That was PHP 7, that was JavaScript. This is changing the environment of web development, and I think that the next few years is going to be really exciting for web development, how this is going to progress. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I've got a link to last year's predictions in the cards as well as in the description. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe, because I have a tutorial on web development, on programming every Tuesday. We're focusing at the moment on MySQL and PHP. However, I have done tutorials in Docker, in MySQL, in HTML, in JavaScript, and in Linux. On Fridays, I do a web chat like this, and on Saturdays, I do a live coding stream on Twitch. So that's twitch.tv/howtocodewell. Thank you ever so much. Happy coding, everyone, and I will see you or speak to you again soon. Cheers. Bye.